joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimpin' and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and to spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dope. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooker baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like them renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks but never getting paid riches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite, blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they life gets strife, they see pimpin' shining bright, but they action is life without. Bitch, one strike you out. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashin' for these riches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician, niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock with those. Tender-footed and rooted in them doctor shows. Soft shoe rituals, minute residuals. Papers on life support your. Something I learned about when running my earn route and working with turnouts is murdering burnouts. Cause knocking one of you niggas for a scarred bitch, that's knocking one of you niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless, empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with pimpathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hold hard. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, pimpin', man, pop that shit. Show these sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. And to you hoes, if you ever took a loss, bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss, bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach that paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss it. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. One of them joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimpin' and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and to spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the Okay, hold on. Let me see. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. All right. Good morning to everybody. If I'm too loud or too low, let me know. Even though some of y'all be saying the same thing at the same time, some of y'all will say I'm too loud, some of y'all will say I'm too low. But I believe my mic is right. Top of the morning to everybody. Appreciate y'all tuning in and tapping in with a pimp. Breakfast on me with this game. Y'all already know. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button. Ty always coming through. Kicking the dough down with the love and respect. Good looking with the $2 holla. Blessings. As my brother Sinful the P would say, a whole bunch of ones beat a whole bunch of nuns. Yeah. Y'all already know my first order of business. I got to hydrate my game. Put some of this good old love in my body. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That cool, refreshing drink. Okay, there we go. Now I can see my Okay. Okay, Miss Holloway say my audio is perfect. Appreciate you. Yeah. Let's get into some game, man. You know, it's a trip because oh snap. Hold on, let me do one more thing real quick. Super quick before we get off into it. I just got to do something very quickly. It's only going to take a second. Give me just a second. Okay, bam. Got to share the live on IG real quick so that my IG family who may not be aware can know that we live chopping this game early morning, top of the morning. You know, it's a lot of people getting ready to start their day, but it's a lot of people, especially these wolves in the game, you dig, that's ending their day right about now. So, you know, they might want to end their day off right with this game. So it's only right that I let them know that we chopping game right about now. Almost done. Hold on. Bam. 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 Okay. Cool. There we go. Excuse my pimping if you see me or if you hear me rather sniffling a little bit. It's because I I just had some of them yellow peppers, man. You know, those of us from California, you already know. If you from California, 9 times out of 10, you rock with them yellow peppers, man. Them hot yellow peppers. They call them some people call them chili pepper. Damn. Always knocking my charger out the way. Hold on. Excuse my pimping. But yeah, I had some of them yellow peppers, man, and You know, they real spicy. And sometimes they'll make you sniffle a little bit. So excuse my pimping for the little bit of sniffling going on. But yeah, man, you know, I had to chop game with y'all about these sheep and wolves clothing. Now I'm sure you familiar with the term wolf in sheep's clothing, right? But we're going to talk about the opposite. We're going to talk about the sheep in wolves clothing. They be fooling a lot of wolves out here, which is crazy to think about. Can you imagine a sheep dressed as a wolf and then going into a pack of wolves and, you know, manipulating the pack of wolves and, you know, having that sheep having its way with that pack of wolves, and the whole time that pack of wolves don't recognize that this is a sheep the whole time because they fooled by the disguise? It sound crazy, huh? Well, man, it's going on as we speak all the time. Hold on. Discerning. Good looking with the $5 holla. Blessings to the game, P. Blessings to you as well. Appreciate you. But yeah, man, you know, it trips me out because it's a lot of these characters, right? These sheeps disguised as wolves, and they come among the wolves and manipulate the wolves into you know, following along with their narratives, acknowledging them, and therefore encouraging them. As I always say, acknowledgement is encouragement. They acknowledge these sheeps disguised as wolves, so they encourage these sheep disguised as wolves, right? And when I say wolves, I'm talking about those of us who participate in the game. And, you know, it's not just the game. It's not just the lifestyle of pimping and 304ing. I'm talking about, you know, people that operate with game, period, right? You got a lot of people in the streets that may not necessarily be pimps and 304s, but they still maneuver and make things happen with the power of the game, right? You have even squares that might be hustlers or business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever the case may be, right? But nonetheless, you know, they operate under the spirit of game. And see, you know, speaking about those of us that have lived the street life, right? Or are currently living the street life. You know, if you're new to the street life, you'll eventually come to realize the same thing those of us who've been living the street life for a long time came to realize at some point, which is that, you're going to deal with a lot of manipulation on a lot of levels from a lot of different angles, right? Some of y'all done heard me speak on this before. But, speaking for myself, right? Again, I'll use myself as an example. Man, from as far back as my teenage years, right? Really, even before teenage years, I could think back as far as elementary years, right? People trying to manipulate me. You know, older kids trying to manipulate me and con me, you know, whether it be older boys that went to my school that tried to manipulate me out of, you know, something, or manipulate me into doing something that they wanted me to do. Same thing with girls. And, you know, the older you get as a child, the more crafty the manipulation tactics become, right? But if you a sharp kid like I was, you know, it ain't gonna take too many times for you to fall for some bullshit before you tighten up, right? And you learn not to just hand your trust out like a Chinese food menu. You learn that, you know, in order to trust people to certain extents. You got to position them to earn your trust, right? But nonetheless, people still gonna try you from as far back as elementary school, especially if you come from poverty, if you come from the ghetto, or even if you don't come from the ghetto and you don't come from poverty, just being a minority, right? If you are a part of a minority group, no matter where you coming up, a lot of times you're going to be subject to people's manipulation tactics. So, when you get in high school, that's when you kind of more so becoming, that you more so coming of age. So the manipulation tactics is going to step up, 1,000 notches at that point. Then when you become a young adult, depending on which path you take, if you a guy and you step off into the streets, whether you gang banging, hustling, whatever type of hustle you may be into, or if you pimping or whatever the case may be, right? If you in the streets trying to make ends meet, the streets is filled with wolves, right? Other wolves like yourself, because everybody out there hunting. Everybody is hunters, right? So it's survival of the fittest. And a part of that survival of the fittest environment is, dealing with manipulation tactics. And again, if you're a guy in the streets, man, so many people going to be trying to manipulate you on so many different levels, especially if you got something that they want, right? If you some pimping, and you fly, it's going to be a lot of young ladies that want you for your manhood. They want you for your game. They want you for your status. They want you for your, whatever luxuries you may have going on, right? And a lot of people want something for nothing. So in order to get something for nothing, in their mind, they gonna try you. They're going to try to manipulate you, right? The police oftentimes, and you ain't even got to be in the streets. If you're a minority, the police are going to try to manipulate you and get something for nothing almost every time, right? You could be a tax-paying, clock-punching, 9-to-5 worker. If you, you already know, man, if you call the police, sometimes they might turn from protecting and serving you to preying on you. And they're going to come with manipulation tactics. They're going to try to manipulate you into giving them what they want without giving you what you want. You calling them to protect and serve you. But they don't care about that. They just want to lock people up, especially if you are a minority. So, they going to try to manipulate you. They, anything you say can and will be used against you. Most people who ain't dealt with, police, who ain't experienced in dealing with police don't keep that in mind and don't understand the depth of that. So they say things and do things that can and will be used against you. The can is a part of a manipulation tactic. Everything will be used against you. They try to manipulate you with the language. Everything you say can and will. No, it ain't no can. Everything will be used against you, right? So, that's another group of individuals that, may try you with manipulation tactics. If you're a young man in the streets, other men in the streets are going to try to manipulate you and play you and beat you. You know what I mean? If you're a hustler with a product for sale, it's, everybody wants something for nothing. So they're going to be trying you. So other wolves like yourself, who might be craftier than you, sharper than you, more experienced than you, more seasoned than you, more gamed up than you, they're going to try to manipulate you, right? If you a lady, especially if you a lady that guys find attractive for whatever reason, they might like your skin, they might like your face, they might like your smile, they might like your lips, they might like your voice, they might like your walk, something about your body, your legs, it could be anything. But if you got something that guys want, which for most women is bedroom action, you gonna deal with probably the most manipulation tactics, right? Because everybody wants something for nothing. So a lot of guys is gonna try you. You know, they're gonna try manipulation tactics. And you, just like any guy, you know, if you encounter the police, they're gonna try to manipulate you. They all want something for nothing, right? So I say all of this to say, you know, if you come from a certain background, like a lot of us do, most of us listening do, one way or another, hey man, you're gonna deal with so much manipulation that if you got any sense about yourself, you're gonna tighten up at some point. And it's supposed to become more and more difficult for people to manipulate you. You're supposed to sharpen up, right? You know, we all done played the fool before, especially when you're young. We've all played the fool. Shit, even some older people play the fool sometimes, you know. Nobody's perfect. So, you know, but at some point, man, when you go through so much, you're supposed to tighten up. Like me, like I've said before, I've had, you know, in the streets, I've had other pimps try to manipulate me. I've had ladies in the game trying to manipulate me. I've had, you know, tricks just dealing with a lady that's under my tutelage, trying to manipulate her, and I got to help her navigate through the manipulation. I've had police try to manipulate me, district attorneys, judges, you know, in jail and in prison, other inmates trying to manipulate me, COs and deputies trying to manipulate me. Like, man, I done dealt with manipulation on so many different levels. At this point in my life, man, you gonna have a tough time. You know, my mind is like Fort Knox. You know, it ain't really much room to infiltrate my thoughts and manipulate my thinking to your liking, to your desire, to get me to do what you want me to do without me realizing that that's what you're doing. Because that's what manipulation is. You know, it's next to impossible to get me these days, right? And then I'm just a connoisseur for game at the same time. You know, I love learning from my experiences, even if it's not experiences with manipulation, just mistakes that I might make in life, you know, wrong decisions, or, you know, not necessarily wrong decisions, but not the best decisions. You know, I don't comprehend L's. I don't comprehend losses, right? Because what most people would perceive as an L, if I can walk away from that type of experience with some wisdom, with some game, and be better mentally and spiritually from that experience, then it's not an L, right? I might lose time. I might lose something material. I might lose something monetary, right? But if I walk away with some wisdom and some game that's going to benefit me for the rest of my life moving forward, then how's it an L, right? So that's how I look at life. And, you know, I done been through so much in life, and I'm fortunate to still be here. And I always reflect back on shit, and I do my best to learn from these experiences, right? So with all of that together, man, hey, man, you know, I look at it like from the moment that I open my eyes, it's battle time, you know, because the manipulation goes so deep, you know, and it's so many distractions. You know, I look at distractions as kind of like a form of manipulation, right? To deter me from my path. Like I talked about before, you know, all the gossip that goes on the internet, everybody in everybody else's business, you know. My partner eBooks, you know, trying to tell me that Tupac and Ross was the same. You know what I mean? It's on so many different levels, man. Shout out to my partner eBooks though, you know. Oh shit, hold on. Pressing the wrong shit. Speaking of ebooks, good looking with the $5 holler ebooks. Hold on. Speaking of minorities, keep it 100. Do you think there's more sellouts / Uncle Toms in 2024? Even 5 years back, CW and DJ Ack wouldn't be platformed. Well, more than 5 years ago, Academics was still doing his thing, and he was well into his into doing his thing by that time. But to answer your question though, do I think there's more Uncle Toms and sellouts? Yeah. And it's beyond people just being Uncle Toms and sellouts. It's just that people don't really stand for anything. You know, not everybody, but it's a whole lot more people than ever who don't stand for anything, who don't have rules. They don't have rules for themselves, and they don't want to follow anybody else's rules. There's so many people out here who don't respect anything. People don't respect the dead. People don't respect children. You know, they talk bad about the dead. They talk bad about people's children. They talk bad about your mama, your daddy, your grandma. You know, it's so cool to be disrespectful. It's so cool to lack respect. So, beyond it just being sellouts and Uncle Toms, like, you know, being a sellout or an Uncle Tom is under the umbrella of, you know, a lack of respect, a lack of integrity, no value system, no principles, right? So that's what that is. You know, what you talking about is under the umbrella of that. Hold on a second. Excuse my pimpin'. Okay. But yeah, man. So that's just me. Like I said, when I wake up and open my eyes, I'm at battle. Right? And you know, I do my best to avoid distractions, to avoid things that don't serve me. Right? And it's real easy to get caught up in things on the internet that don't serve you. Right? If you get wrapped up and go down the rabbit hole of what's happening with Puffy, or, you know, how Donald Trump just got found guilty of all these charges and all that type of shit, it's cool to understand what's going on in the world. But if you just get so wrapped up in it, you know, to the point where you're serving it more than it serves you, then, you know, that's a problem. And it's a form of manipulation. Right. So, you know, that's the way I see life. Like, in today's times, from the moment I wake up, I'm battling manipulation. Right. So, you know, to get more specific on, you know, the types of manipulation that's going on in the game and the individuals who are coming with these different types of manipulation in the game. Hey, listen, man, you know, you got to understand that a lot of people who vie for your attention, a lot of people who relentlessly seek your attention don't give a damn about you. Right? Seriously, just think about that. A lot of people who seek your attention, and some of these people who you give a lot of your attention to, oftentimes too much of your attention to, they don't give a damn about you. If something were to happen to you, they not gonna reach for you. If you in a crisis situation, you can't rely on these people. They will pretend, just for the sake of getting your attention, that they care about you, that they concerned about you, that they wish you well, and all this shit. But in reality, if you pay close attention, they do not give a damn about you. And if something were to happen to you, they could care less. And not only could they care less, but just like the shit that you entertain from them, you going to be a part of that entertainment for somebody else if something happened to you. Right? See, a lot of people just be so hooked on drama and gossip. And, you know, a lot of it comes from self-hatred. And a lot of people, and it's so crazy, right? It's a lot of people in the game, man, that are so beautiful, have so much potential, are gifted in so many different ways, and have so much to offer, not just the game, but the world. But for whatever reason, you know, circumstances, experiences, whatever the case may be, they don't like themselves. And when you don't like yourself, man, it's real easy to get involved with other people that don't like themselves, right? And, you know, on the internet, everybody pretend like they like themselves. They pretend like they got it going on, like they don't make no mistakes. You know, people act like they ain't never had a booger in their nose before, like they never took a shit before, like they never farted. You know what I mean? A lot of people act like they ain't never had an eye booger before. You know, it's, you know, everybody act perfect on the internet. You know, but a lot of these people who act perfect don't like themselves, right? So, you know, again, there's certain I guess you could say, outlets on social media that, you know, break their neck, jump through flaming hoops, swim through quicksand, wrestle with alligators for your attention. And, you know, you might find it as innocent in the beginning, but if you don't pay attention, you won't see it. But if you do pay attention, it's easy to see, right? And you got these people, right, that, like, for instance, right, you know, you got certain individuals that are not a part of the game, but they love being in the game's business, right? And, you know, you don't have to be a part of the game to benefit from the game, right? It's a lot of y'all at work right now, or getting ready to go to work, or just got off of work, and, you know, you don't have any ill intentions for people in the game. And, you know, just like those of us in the game, you're a connoisseur for game. You like to learn. You like to be inspired. You have positive energy. So, you know, we mingle with each other. We rub elbows. We do what we do, and it's all good, right? But you have certain people on these platforms, these outlets, who are not a part of the game, never was a part of the game, constantly in the game's business, but don't like the game and don't like the people in the game. But they'll pretend like they do, right? Like, it's certain individuals, right? You know, if you in these circles on social media, you know who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about, right? But if you're not familiar, if you pay attention, you know, it can still benefit you because you might be experiencing something similar, right? But you got certain outlets in the game that's not from people that's not a part of the game. They really hate the game, right? And they'll use certain things to get sympathy from you, right? Like, for instance, you know, those of us that have any ounce of integrity about ourselves know that, you know, we don't encourage or support anything to do with minors being in the game, right? Most of us are pretty much on one accord when it comes to that. Most of us are pretty much on one accord that, you know, minors being in the game is not cool, right? So you have these outlets that understand that about the game, and they not in the game, never was in the game, and ain't gonna never be in the game, but they understand that people in the game are pretty much on one accord when it comes to that. So if they come with a story about a minor being exploited in the game, and they put the spotlight on somebody who's allegedly exploiting minors in the game, everybody in the game is going to be tuned in. And everybody in the game is going to be pretty much on one accord condemning the person who the allegations are on, right? And that's understandable. But see, what you got to understand is that you have vindictive people out there who have a vendetta towards the game for whatever reason. You got dudes out there, for instance, right? They might have thought they was some pimping, always wanted to be some pimping. And then, somehow, some way they slipped on a banana in the game and they thought they was one of us, and they, people in the game embraced them and became cool with them, right? But as time progressed, time revealed that these individuals wasn't pimping and never was the pimping, and the game never knew them. And these individuals, they have a tough time coming to grips with that, right? Especially when once they get exposed, everywhere they turn in the game, everybody in the game is like, the game never knew you. Some of these types of individuals, they have a vendetta towards the game, right? But they'll try to act like they cool with the game just to charm and disarm you. It's all a charm and disarm tactic, right? And the way that they charm you is with this person is messing with kids. That's how they charm you and disarm you, with that. And a lot of y'all, you believe everything you see on the internet. If somebody put it on the internet, it's gospel, right? But you have people like myself, right? I'm a skeptic. I don't believe everything I see on the internet. And before I take something and run with it, I'm going to fact check it. And that's the beautiful thing about the internet. It is so easy to check the facts if you are so inclined, right? So if somebody come with like a news clip about this person having kids, it's so easy to, Google the shit. And what you'll find out in a lot of cases, if you Google the shit, it's a twisting of the truth or it's a complete lie, right? Their best job to date with these manipulation tactics was with Sinful to P, right? For those of y'all who remember, and those of y'all who might have came along later, who went back and saw it, in early 2008, early 2018, there were some videos put on the internet that a lot of y'all done seen already about Sinful to P, right? There were videos of him in the courtroom, when he was fighting his case that he went to prison for. And then there were videos of him before the parole board, right? In effort to be paroled back into society at the time. And, it was certain details about his case revealed in this video, or these videos, right? And, Sinful up until that point was held at such a high regard by a lot of people in the game. Those videos made a lot of people feel a certain type of way about Sinful, right? But those who were down with Sinful and really tuned into him up until that point, remember that Sinful spoke about this situation before these videos came out. And pretty much everything that was revealed in these videos, Sinful had already spoke about himself, right? He had already told you about what took place in that case. You know, the videos just gave more context to the situation, obviously, right? It's one thing to hear about something. It's another thing to see video pertaining to that something, right? But, you know, if you pay attention, the people that put the videos out, or the individual who put the videos out, put the videos out along with a narrative that Sinful the P was an individual who was sending kids, plural, like that was his thing. Like his thing was sending kids, right? This is the picture that was painted. And a lot of people in the game accepted that and took that and ran with it, right? But keep in mind the whole time that this person who put these videos out, again, is somebody who's not in the game, always wanted to be in the game, was once cool with people in the game, but, you know, fell out with some individuals in the game, and from that point had a vendetta towards everybody in the game. Right? So, that's who this person is. This is an outsider, basically, that put these videos out. And, you know, again, the picture that was painted was that Sinful was the type, like a predator, basically. But, you know, a lot of people, again, they see something on the internet and they just believe it's gospel. They take it and run with it. Now, you know, myself in this instance, of course, I didn't believe none of the bullshit because I was there. The situation that took place that led Sinful to prison, I was there. I was there when the situation was unfolding. It's my right hand. It's my brother. So I was there. So there's nothing that a court video or a parole board video could tell me that I did, you know, about a situation that I was there for. Right? So that's that. But even if I wasn't there, I'm still the type of person that before I take something and run with it, I'm gonna check the facts. Right? And you have a very small minority of people in the game who check the facts. Right? And y'all know who you are. Shout out to you. Before you took that and ran with it with Sinful, you check the facts. And a lot of y'all, I be seeing y'all. You know, I be seeing y'all on different, I've seen a lot of y'all over the years, man. You know, I don't comment sometimes. I just got to give acknowledgement to y'all, though, because I appreciate y'all, you know, because a lot of y'all was doing this when Sinful was here. And a lot of y'all have been doing this since Sinful has been gone. But a lot of y'all shut the bullshit down on these different posts where people who didn't even know Sinful but hate Sinful try to spread this nonsense on them, right? A lot of y'all will put the facts out there to refute the bullshit, right? And I appreciate y'all. But it was just so disappointing to me. Now, if you check the facts and you seen the details and understood the details, and whenever you talked about it, you talked about it from the standpoint of somebody who took the time to understand everything, but yet and still you felt some type of way, I could respect that. Because you ain't got to like Sinful the P, right? But at least be 100. But what disappointed me was the fact that so many people in the game who done dealt with manipulation on so many different levels allowed themselves to be manipulated by an outsider, right? Somebody that you ain't gonna never run into in the game. somebody that nobody in the game has ever met, experienced, been around, none of that. Seen outside, nothing. You know? To see so many people in the game be manipulated by an individual like that was disappointing. Then what was even more disappointing was people who actually knew Sinful and knew the situation before the videos came out. But because of their envy for Sinful, this, envy that was suppressed the whole time, envy that was under the covers the whole time, these videos created a bandwagon against Sinful where it was just cool to bash Sinful. So these people who knew him personally, people who he done did major favors for, been a blessing to, when they jumped on the bandwagon of this outsider that they don't even know against somebody that they do know, that was even more disappointing. It's like, damn, how you allow yourself to get manipulated? And then especially when you in your 40s, these is people in their 40s and 50s letting this happen, right? And, like I said, it was just a major disappointment, man, because, some of these guys are well respected and, been around for a long time and have good reputations and good track records, man, up until that point. So, to see them do that, man, it was just, not only was it disappointing, but it was a major black eye to the game because they didn't understand what they were showing people. They showing people that any square can get on the internet, create an account and manipulate, quote unquote masters of the game, self-proclaimed masters of the game, self-proclaimed master manipulators, self-proclaimed, gamed up individuals. They showed everybody that any square who studies the game from an outsider's perspective can get on the internet and manipulate people in the game. Be agents of chaos in a game that they're not even a part of. They're not even involved in, never been involved in, and will never be involved in. Right? Because, brief summary of the facts. Sinful, and see, that's what I loved about my brother. He took accountability for what he did in that situation. He acknowledged where he was wrong, which was, he allowed himself to be deceived by this young lady into thinking that she was 19 based on identification that was given to him when in fact she was 14. Right? He took accountability for that. He was deceived. He didn't consciously deal with this young lady knowing her true age, but he still took accountability. He still acknowledged that he was wrong for that, right? And see, this is why the people who did and still do love Sinful love him the way that they do, because unlike everybody else on the internet, Sinful showed you, as he would say, the F's on his report card, right? He didn't try to present himself as this perfect individual who never made a mistake. He told you so many stories about his ups and downs in the game. A whole bunch of downs, right? So, but again, this young lady deceived not only him, but the police, right? And those of us who were so inclined to take the time to check the facts figured that out quick. Like, oh, damn, the police. Okay, so yeah, police who arrest 304s every day and deal with 304s every day for months and years, they even got food? Okay, that makes sense. And then not just that, but in the court of law, Sinful never had that type of case before then, and he never had that type of case since then, and there were never any other individuals that he had that type of experience with except for that one. Right? That's in the court of law. Now, if you go outside the court of law into the streets, it's the same thing. You've never heard before then, up until that point, about a girl, coming out and saying, I was with Sinful when I was underage. You never heard of that before this situation, and you never heard of that since this situation, right? And this took place in 2008, when Sinful was less than a year into the game. But it took place in 2008, though. And, so if you check the facts, you say, okay, yeah, he made a mistake, but he went and paid his debt to society. He went and sat down, did his time, walked the main line, and, got out, and it wasn't no problem. Still was respected by everybody in the game. No problem. Right? But, Sinful, the thing about Sinful is that him being as gifted as he was when it came to intellectual capacity, when it came to knowledge and wisdom, communication, charisma, he just had a way with people. And when it came to discipline, right? Just so many things about him, right, provoked jealousy in a lot of people. Just him being himself, it provoked jealousy in a lot of people, right? And what's crazy, like I said, me, I just learned from so many experiences, right? I can recall a time when Sinful, when his mother passed away in 2014, he changed a lot. One thing that changed drastically about Sinful is that he wasn't going outside as much. He stayed to himself a lot. He wasn't going out, mingling with everybody, being down and around. He was still doing it, but he did it. It slowed down drastically, right? So more so, it went from, like, before his mother passed away, he was always outside, always down and around, cross country. You know what I mean? You'll run into him outside. It went from that to, after his mother passed away, he stayed to himself and didn't go out much, right? But his internet presence stepped up a whole lot after his mother passed away. With him staying inside so much, he got on the internet a whole lot more, and not long, probably maybe a year after his mother passed, that's when he got on YouTube. 2015 is when he started really, going hard on YouTube, and a lot of people became familiar with him on YouTube in 2015, right? And not just YouTube, even before YouTube, he was popping on Facebook in the game. Like, everybody in the game knew Sinful on Facebook, right? So he had a lot of action on Facebook. He stayed knocking people's socks off on Facebook, right? And Sinful became a master at breaking on chicks that he never seen before, right? So that just became his thing. Like, Sinful would be to himself in the crib, wouldn't really be out in the mix too much, but at any given time, he'll have anywhere from 5 to 10 different chicks, tearing him off consistently that he ain't never even seen before, that he came across on Facebook, Instagram later on, and even YouTube later on, right? But this became his thing, and a lot of people that knew him personally saw this, right? And I'll never forget, it was this one cat that we know that was real close to me and Sinful, right? And I remember me and him was chopping it up, and he was like, man, I can't lie, man, Sinful, he got a cold campaign going on, man. Like, Sinful got the coldest campaign right now, because you know, he just be to himself, and he don't even go out, and man, he stay knocking bras, and he doing his thing on the internet, you know, like, man, he cold with it. And, you know, because of how I see Sinful and how I always seen Sinful, like, I've never been envious of him, right? And I know that he was blessed in ways that I wasn't, just like I'm blessed in ways that he wasn't. But maybe that's why I was never envious of him. One, because I had so much love for him, but beyond the love, even if we weren't as tight as we were, I can look at somebody with admiration and not be envious because I'm in tune with myself. See, when you a stranger to yourself, it's real easy to get jealous of people. When you ain't took the time to learn yourself and understand how you blessed and how abundantly blessed you are, it's real easy to get jealous of people, right? You know, and it's crazy because, man, it's some pimps who have had more money than Sinful, had more chicks at one time than Sinful ever had, you know, had more materials than Sinful, that was still jealous of this man. So it just goes to show you a lot about them individuals, right? But I say all of this to say, like, that guy who I was talking about that was giving Sinful his props for, you know, knocking so many chicks without never seeing them before and all this type of stuff. When the controversy hit, when the videos came out 2018, years later, you know, it was, he was another individual that disappointed me, man. You know, and mind you, this is somebody who also, because he knew Sinful personally for years before them videos came out. So this is somebody who was very familiar with the case, very familiar with what Sinful went to prison for and the details around it, right? But when the controversy hit, this is another individual who at the time was in his 50s and still, you know, because of the envy, jumped on a bandwagon that was created by somebody that's an outsider to the game, right? And it wasn't because this individual cares so much about kids or that he believes Sinful was a predator or all the other shit that was being said about him. It wasn't because of that. It was strictly because of the envy, right? But yet and still, he allowed himself to be charmed and disarmed. He allowed himself to be manipulated by a sheep. You supposed to be a wolf, and you out here allowing yourself to be manipulated by this sheep who don't give a damn about you. See, that's the thing about it. His envy for Sinful allowed him or led him to jump on this bandwagon, right? But the individual, the outsider in the game, this is the cold part about it. If something happened to that man, this outsider whose bandwagon you just jumped on, he ain't going to reach for you. He ain't going to do nothing for you. You know, if you end up sick, he not going to come check on you and see about you and help you. If you end up incarcerated, he ain't checking for you. If you end up deceased, he ain't finna, you know, try to raise money or contribute in any kind of way. He not gonna do nothing for you. Sinful, on the other hand, see, this is another reason why they hated Sinful so much, because of, you know, how big he was, like how big of a heart he had. You know, y'all recall so many times where Sinful was just generous. Like, not only donating to his school, tens of thousands of dollars, but there's been so many instances when somebody in the game passed away and, Sinful either donated money or brought awareness to people so that they can donate money. When that flood situation happened in Houston, Sinful contributed to that. When different P's have been locked up, Sinful brought awareness to that to get cats bailed out. Or, there's been times where he put up a lot of money himself to bail people out. Like, he just done been a blessing to so many people, a lot of people who he barely even knew or didn't even know at all. But just because they was from the game and they was well respected in the game, Sinful did his best to be a blessing to them type of people, right? But this just goes to show you, how easily manipulated certain people could be in the game when their hearts is filled with envy, when their hearts is filled with jealousy, right? When your heart is filled with jealousy and envy, you can easily be manipulated by anybody that's going to appeal and cater to that jealousy and envy, right? So if somebody in the game that you jealous and envious of, gets slandered and lied on, no matter how much that person been a blessing to you, no matter how much love that individual has showed you, if you jealous of that individual, man, and this, you got this outsider of the game, hater of the game, clear and blatant hater of the game, over here slandering him, man, you gonna be easily manipulated, right? And again, like I said, if somebody understood the facts and made it known that they understood the facts and they still had a dislike for Sinful, I could respect that. But what I don't respect is the lies, right? And then now here it is, a year and a half later after Broden passed, we coming up on a year and a half at the end of this month, and you still have these people slandering him, still jealous of him. And he's not even here to do the things that made you jealous. And, you still have these platforms. You have several different platforms on social media that just have a vendetta towards the game. And it's so disappointing that people in the game can't even see it. Right? And then, it's so funny, right? Even when certain things take place to expose the sheep in wolves' clothing, people still don't, they still don't even want to acknowledge the shit, right? Like, you have certain individuals, right? Like, it's one individual. It's this one guy who he's kind of known in certain circles of the game, right? But this is somebody who, later in life he started going to the players' balls and, paying for paying his way to be accepted into certain circles and greasing palms and shit like that. But this individual who I'm talking about, he had a lot to say about Sinful, even before the videos came out, but especially after the videos came out, right? Calling Sinful all these names, all the predator this, and, you like kids, dad, so on and so forth, right? For years, this individual bashed Sinful and was making him into a predator. Hey, man, Cat Williams was so cold. Cat Williams don't even know how God used him, because I don't even know if Cat Williams himself understands the depth of that statement that he made on Shannon Sharp's podcast when he said that, 2024 is going to pretty much be the year of exposure. He was talking about people in the industry. But man, that statement applies to more than just people beyond the industry, right? Because this guy who I'm talking about, who for years slandered Sinful and, was in the game and, mingled with people mainly on the East Coast. He wasn't like a cross-country guy, but he's from New York and used to be in Orlando. And so a lot of people that be in Orlando or be in New York know this guy. For years he had so much to say about Sinful, and then what happens? He gets arrested. What does he get arrested for? Trafficking a minor, a 14-year-old. And the cold part about it, wrong is wrong. And Sinful acknowledged that he was wrong. But one, in Sinful's situation, when he got caught up with a 14-year-old, one, Sinful was 23. Two, he wasn't conscious of the fact that this girl was 14. He was under the notion that she was 19, right? And he was only 23 at the time. This other guy, he's in his 40s. He's in his 40s, and he just got caught up messing with a 14-year-old. Same guy that has so much to say about Sinful, right? You see? And, he's on the side of, again, a square, that's a hater of the game, never been involved in the game, did always got something to say about people in the game. He was on their side. He wasn't on the game side, even though certain people in the game still was rocking with him. But look at what happens. He gets caught up, and he really the one. The one that he was trying to make Sinful into, that's really him. It wasn't no fake ID in his situation. No, he knew she was 14. Right? So, no, ebooks, that's not who I'm talking about. That ain't who I'm talking about. Even though I don't care for that individual. See, that's the difference between me and him. I ain't gonna let somebody misinform on his name. And I'm not gonna misinform on his name. And I'm not gonna encourage anybody to misinform on his names. But no, that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about somebody totally different, right? Notice I said this individual is from New York. Johnny Cash is not from New York. He's from Memphis. So, yeah, man, it's just crazy, right? And people still don't see. People still don't take notice. So that's one individual, right? Now that happened probably a couple months ago. So then you had this other individual, right? A female. Now, of course, I haven't been persecuted to the same magnitude of a Sinful to P, but a lot of y'all know that I done had slander put on me too on this internet, right? One of the slanders that was put on my name that I've dispelled so many times, because every time I go get tested, I put my test results on the internet and it's always negative. But you had this chick, a chick who I didn't even know until she spoke on my name, until she lied on me. I didn't even know this chick, never seen her nowhere, never got at her, never liked a picture on accident or on purpose, never followed her, never got in her DM. I never interacted with this individual and I didn't even know they existed. This chick get on the internet and start telling people on the internet that Freeze got, Freeze got that HIV, you know what I mean? Freeze got that shit that you can't get rid of. She telling people on the internet this, right? And you know, even after all these times of me putting my test results, do you think that this individual would apologize? No. In fact, them test results is fake. Those is a female's test results. He photoshopped that. All of this shit, right? But you don't even know me. And you running around telling people that this is what's going on with me when you know it's a lie. Right? So what happens to this individual about a week ago? It was all good just a week ago, but guess what happens to this individual about a week ago? This female, she gets caught up in Louisiana with a minor, a 16-year-old, right? It's crazy. So what I want people to pay attention to is the fact that, you know, you had these people in the game. Now this chick who was spreading these lies on me that just got caught up with this minor, I don't know for sure, but I believe that when she was saying what she was saying about me, when she was spreading the lies on me, I believe that the lies were given to her by this same individual that's not in the game, this hater of the game, this person who don't mean nobody in the game no good, right? So she was fed this information by an outsider, went against the people in the game, myself, and slandered me, and then now here you are getting caught up with a minor. And see, what these people don't understand is, like, you know, if you make a mistake, then, you know, that's understood. But same type of thing with this chick. From the looks of it, she was aware of the fact that this girl was 16 years old the whole time she was dealing with her. And again, referring back to Sinful, because I'm sure she done been on the bandwagon with everybody else. She's a hater of the game that she's in, just like a lot of other people. You know, unlike Sinful, you know, she wasn't 23, she was 31. She in her 30s. You in your 30s consciously, you didn't get deceived. Even though if you did get deceived, you know, you still got to be held accountable, but you wasn't even deceived. You know what I mean? So, and the thing about it, the people whose bandwagon you jumped on, they not going to support you. They not going to look out for you. Right? Now, let's just say hypothetically, right, that this guy from New York that be in Orlando and this chick who got caught up in Louisiana from California, let's just say that, one, they never jumped on the bandwagon with the outsider hater of the game. They never slandered people in the game like myself and Sinful, right? Hypothetically speaking. Not only that, but let's, you know, say that they were not aware of the fact that they was dealing with minors. They were deceived or they were negligent. But for whatever reason, let's just say hypothetically, they didn't understand that they were dealing with minors, right? Hypothetically. And then hypothetically, let's say Sinful to Pete is still here. You know, Sinful is the type of individual that would support those guys or that guy and that girl. because we've seen him do it plenty of times with other people in the game who get caught up. It's a high likelihood that he would have, supported them in some kind of way. And not just Sinful, but it's probably other people that would have supported him in some kind of way. But the same type of people that put allegations on people are really the ones that's guilty. So don't allow yourself to be manipulated by these sheep. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated by a sheep in wolf's clothing, disguised as a wolf, but it's really a sheep underneath. Right? And like I said, man, you got these people that they understand everybody in the game, don't encourage minors to be in the game or don't support minors being in the game. So that's how they use that to charm and disarm people in the game, right? Now I can understand if, here and there, about different minors, just pay attention, right, to how they do things. If you pay attention, you'll see how they expose themselves, right? Because I know a lot of y'all, some of y'all just be like, just careless, and you tune into this bullshit, and you just take whatever they say and run with it. But just pay attention, apply some game to the situation, right? Now, again, like I said, it's understandable if, even though these people ain't in the game, never been a part of the game, they not even retired, they never even been a part of the game. No matter what they say, they never been a part of the game, right? It's understandable if they just so happen to become aware of a minor being in the game, and, they might want to bring awareness to the situation so that people in the game know what's going on. Like, hey, in case you was thinking about choosing up with this guy, just know that he be having babies. Or, this young girl is dealing with this young guy, she's missing, or whatever the case may be, right? It's understandable if it happens every so often. But why is it? Just think about this. You had these several people, right? It's three main ones. It's two dudes and a girl, a female, right? These two guys and this female, whenever a minor is dealing with somebody in the game, they always know. It don't matter if it's on the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, down South, they always know. Not only do they always know, which that's strange. How do you always know when a minor is dealing with somebody in the game? That's strange. Two, they post these minors' videos, pictures, names, profiles. They post this shit on their page. Now they make it like they trying to bring awareness and help the situation, but why are you posting somebody else's child? See, me, you never gonna catch me doing that. You never gonna catch me posting somebody else's child, because I wouldn't want some grown person who I don't know and doesn't know my child and don't know me first and foremost as the parent. I wouldn't want this person posting my child among a bunch of people in the game, a bunch of people in the streets, a lot of whom are shiesty, a lot of whom, if they find out who this child is, they're going to try to get at him. They do this. I ain't going to say her name, but a lot of y'all are familiar with the chick who was on Soft White Underbelly, and she got a daughter who was also on Soft White Underbelly, which is also crazy. But this chick who was on Soft White Underbelly, her daughter was on Soft White Underbelly, and her daughter was 14 or is 14. And, because of the interviews, a lot of people know who she is, which I still say it's crazy. You know, ain't no way in the world that she should have ever been on that platform. But beyond that, these people, these two guys and this female, they have posted this 14-year-old girl on their page on plenty of occasions, right? Then they'll even, this is how crazy they are, right? It's one individual among these three, right? One of the guys among these three. And people see this and they don't even find it strange, right? But this is how the charming and disarming goes. You allow yourself to get charmed and disarmed to the point where you don't even pay attention to what's going on. But this is what's going on. Just picture this for those of y'all who haven't seen it. Again, this girl who 14 years old, she been on Soft White Underbelly. This guy posts a video of her. And in the video, she's talking about him, the guy who posted the video. She's talking about how he's weird and they've had conversations with each other. But this guy, he's either in his 30s or 40s. And he don't know the girl, don't know her parents, her mother or her father. And he's having conversations with this 14-year-old girl. I don't care what it's about. Why are you talking to this girl? But he's crazy enough to post videos of her talking about him and talking about how he's weird. Right? Then this same 14-year-old girl will get on that post and make comments and it's just all good. And nobody looks at that like, come on, man. Nobody even has enough sense to say like, dude, what are you doing? Nobody has enough sense to be like, man, I can't follow this shit no more. This is crazy. I don't want no parts of this. And again, this is somebody who not just with her, but he always knows, just like the other ones, he always knows when a minor is messing with somebody in the game. He's always posting different minors, posting their page, posting pictures and videos of them, but tries to act like this advocate, this crusader for children. But why are you posting this shit on your page and you know a whole bunch of people in the streets, many of whom are not cool, many of whom are predators themselves? How do you know that you're not leading, that you're not making this girl or these girls more vulnerable, exposing them to potential predators? This going, oh, damn, okay, I know she 14, I know she 15, but they still sliding in her DM because they found her on your page. Mr. Advocate, Miss Advocate. You see what I'm saying? And these is people that's not even in the game. So that's strange. And then also, what's also strange is how these people always know as soon as it happens when somebody in the game get arrested. How do you have these people that are not in the game, never been in the game, never will be in the game, outsiders? How do they always know when somebody in the game gets arrested? It don't matter what part of the country it's in. Give you a prime example, right? I got arrested in Phoenix. Some of y'all have seen the video before, right? Me and a young lady who I had in the car with me at the time. This is like probably about, matter of fact, that's what's crazy. I want to say to the date. This was like exactly 3 years ago. I want to say today. This shit happened, I think, on June 2nd. But so like, that's what's crazy. But exactly 3 years ago, right? I got arrested with a young lady in the car. We both got arrested, right? We got out of jail, both of us, that same day. I was released. When I was released, she got bailed out afterwards. So we both got out that same night. So neither one of us was in jail for 24 hours. Less than 24 hours. We both got out of jail the same day that we were arrested, right? Neither one of us said anything about this arrest on social media. I definitely didn't say nothing about it. But these same people, and it was like they arrested me for speeding, right? So it wasn't like it was, P&H charges or HT charges or soliciting. It wasn't none of that. They arrested me for speeding. And I think she got, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember 100%, but I want to say she got arrested for like a warrant or something. Right? But so these were like, petty charges for one. Wasn't no big case. It wasn't on the news. Speeding. Got out the same day, me and her, right? How come less than 48 hours later, these same people, not only did they report or post about me getting arrested with this chick, but they had the body cam footage. How do you get that? Why do you get that? How did you know that Freeze got arrested a couple days ago? And then you immediately get the body cam footage and you put it on the internet. Now, I'm sure that, any of us that's listening, including myself that's talking, pretty sure any of us could go and get body cam footage on various cases, various parts of the country. But who even takes the time to figure out how to do that? With some people that you don't even know, that's living a lifestyle that you're not even a part of. How do you take the time to figure out how to get body cam footage? One, and then two, how do you know that this person was arrested 2 days ago and then you immediately get the body cam footage and post it? How do you do that? And this arrest happened in Arizona. The person who I'm talking about who posted this shit on the internet is in Florida. And nobody finds that strange. They so wrapped up in the fact, ooh, Freeze got arrested and he got arrested with a broad. Damn. And they got the video. Damn. But nobody finds it strange, like, and see, another thing to give you more context, right? So this as I'm talking, I'm remembering more details, right? So not only did he post the video and post the fact that I got arrested, but he made it seem as though I never got out of jail. And he had people believing for months that I was in jail. Some of y'all probably remember the shit. He had people thinking I was in jail for like 3 months. And the whole time I got out the same day. And he know that. But again, people in the game did have dealt with manipulation on so many different levels. These wolves allowing themselves to be manipulated by this sheep that don't even hunt like you, that don't even eat like you, don't even live like you. You allowing yourself to be manipulated by this individual. And just so happened to his benefit, the reason why he was able to get people to believe that I was actually incarcerated for those months is because during that time, I just so happened to not be on the internet. I wasn't on YouTube. I wasn't on Instagram. I had took like a long hiatus off the internet. But it wasn't because I was in jail. It's because like I was already doing that before I had got arrested that day. And he understood that. So he understood that, he could get people to believe that the feds wrapped me up and, I'm fighting a federal case and, he knows that I'm not on the internet to refute it. Right? So it's crazy again, like I said, man, how these sheep are so able to manipulate these wolves in the game so easily. Right? Let me give some acknowledgments, man. Hey, listen. It's 213 of y'all in here currently, but only 180 of y'all have wiped your feet off at the door. Do me a favor. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button. eBooks. Good looking with the $2 holla. Good morning. No pox slander meant yesterday. Just my honesty. Nah, it's all good, eBooks. I still rock with you. You're all right with me, man. Even though you're a little crazy, it's, I got love for certain crazy people, man. It's some crazy people near and dear to me, man, to be talking to theyself and saying all kind of crazy stuff. And hey, man, I don't love them no less. You're all right with me, man. Impulse Travel Adventures, man. My loved one. Brother from another mother, always coming through with that $100 holla. You dig? Some more and some more. Glory to the game. Long live sin. Man, Impulse Travel Adventures, man. You already know. I appreciate you. eBooks. Good looking with the $10 holla. Why does sin get singled out? K-Red passed around the same time, and I heard rumors about his son crying and snitching on trial. Where's the clickbait while the body is fresh, like with Sin and Kev Samuels? Well, see, this is the thing, right? And rest in peace to all of those gentlemen, first of all. What you got to understand about Sinful as opposed to the others. See, Kev's notoriety was short-lived. Kev went viral, got super big on YouTube, but unfortunately, his untimely demise came and cut that short and made that level of notoriety short-lived, right? Kenny Red, on the other hand, he experienced a lot of hate as well, right? And see, this is the thing. K-Red experienced a lot of jealousy and envy and hatred among his peers, his contemporaries, right? Cats in his age group that were around when he was around, active when he was active. While K-Red experienced a lot of love from a lot of those guys were jealous and envious of K-Red because, very much like Sinful, K-Red was a charismatic guy, very likable, not bad looking, mouthpiece out of this world, personality out of this world, gamed up, wise, knowledgeable, gifted in a lot of ways, right? So, this made a lot of his contemporaries envious of him. But the difference between K-Red and Sinful is that a lot of K-Red's contemporaries aren't as much on the internet. And then even the ones who are on the internet, that might have jealousy and envy towards K-Red, you know, they don't have any traction. They don't have any, their voice might be small, right? And then, you know, the guys in his age range that you do hear and see, you know, were people that respected him and had love for him, right? So basically my point is, the K-Red's haters, while they were many, you know, they unheard of. You ain't really gonna see them and hear them unless you in the mix. You know what I mean? They don't have a presence on social media like that. Sinful, on the other hand, you know, Sinful's younger. So Sinful comes up in a time where a lot of his contemporaries are on the internet. And, you know, they have a presence that people have taken notice to. So, and he provoked jealousy and envy in people for a lot of the same reasons as K-Red. But that's another thing too. You know, K-Red had a presence on the internet, but it wasn't to the extent of a Sinful to P. Like K-Red wasn't posting a whole lot of content on the internet like a Sinful to P. Of course, K-Red was in American Pimp, a classic, was in several of the cross-country pimpings, documentaries by Maroy, rest in peace to Maroy. And then he did, you know, some interviews in more recent times. K-Red was on Soft White Underbelly. He was on various different podcasts and things like that. So while he did have an internet presence, it wasn't as much as Sinful's. So, you know, put it like this. If K-Red was Sinful's age and had a YouTube channel like Sinful and was popping it like Sinful, he'd have just as many haters. You know, and he would have experienced just as much slander and all that type of stuff. So that's what that is. Sharif, good looking with the $2 holla. Success is one thing, impact is another. That's a bar. And you are so right about that. Because, you know, success is kind of subjective, but what most people in the game consider to be success, if you gauge it on that, it was a lot of people that were more quote unquote successful than Sinful. But we already know that impact is a whole nother conversation. So yeah, you ain't never lied about that one, Sharif. Good looking. E-Books, good looking with the $5 holla. Where's the smoke for Soft White? Platforming known underage workers. Why he exploits the poor, but gets treated like Clark Kent. Again, it's funny you say that, right? Because even though Mark from Soft White Underbelly isn't necessarily malicious like these other people that I'm talking about, nonetheless, he charms and disarms people in that way, right? People see a young girl going through it, and Mark portrays himself as somebody that's trying to be helpful. You know, again, manipulation, charming and disarming. You know, they don't think about what's going on beneath the surface. They just see, you know, a guy that presents himself as somebody that's trying to help this young girl. They don't think about the details behind it, what might be going on behind the scenes, the fact that why does this, you know, 60-something-year-old man have this, you know, at the time when she was on Soft White Underbelly, I believe she was 13. She ended up turning 14 shortly after, but, you know, at the time you got this 13-year-old girl on your platform. Not just that, but she's half naked to the point where you got to blur out her top half because her nipples is showing. Like, you know, and y'all seen that I've made a video about that. and spoke on that and broke that down. But, yeah. Mark has a lot of popularity. And he doesn't Mark don't really get caught up in a lot of drama, so people ain't gonna look at him that way. He don't really say anything derogatory about people in the game in particular. Like, he don't target people in the game like, oh, this person is this person is that. He don't really get into that. He just do his interviews and that's it. So, people gonna support that, but yeah, I don't really especially after that. But even before that interview, I kind of like fell back from Soft White Underbelly. No knock to anybody who's been on there or who goes on there. But yeah, I just, like I've said before, when it comes to Soft White Underbelly, I don't think he sees, like, if you watch, he got a video where he explains the meaning behind the name Soft White Underbelly and, the whole premise of the channel, right? And he pretty much, like, his interviews are based on, like, the broken people in America, right? And it's just a certain energy with that. It's a certain way that he views people in the game. Like, I don't know. I just don't rock with it. I don't think, he might meet certain individuals from the game and take a liking to them, but the game itself, he ain't got no love for the game, and, he looks down upon the game. If you really know and understand and pay attention to what he do, you'll get that. But that's a whole nother conversation. But good looking. 1212, good looking with the $10 holla. C is bread. We are also Wellington. Good looking, man. Appreciate you. Eat books. Good looking with the $5 holla. By the way, not hating on K-Red, just saying rumors, or just saying BS rumors. Makers are selective with outrage and legacy slander. Yeah, K-Red go through it too. Probably not so much now that he's gone, but, K-Red, he done went through the slander too, man, especially, if you in the game, Yeah, K-Red definitely had plenty of haters. Ronaldo Jason, good looking with the $2 holla. Would you ever go on Soft White? No. Nah. I've always said that I would never do not just Soft White, but No Jumper, Soft White Underbelly, Vlad TV especially. But even before I stopped watching Vlad TV, I probably still would have never went on there. But yeah, these are people who I just, just based on the nature of who and what they are, I don't see them as having love for my type of people. And, you ain't going to exploit me, or you're not going to milk me. And that's just how I see it. But then not just that, but, it's crazy, man. It's even some of our people that have platforms, big platforms like that I wouldn't even rock with, man, because, people just grimy, man. People shiesty, people liars, con artists, snitches, busters, all type of shit, man. And I just like going with what I know. So I really ain't trying to be too friendly with not just them, but, a whole lot of other people, man. People just weird. So, you probably won't see me doing too much, unless it's somebody that I know, or somebody that's tried and true, or somebody that I just, admire and respect, yeah, you ain't gonna really see Freeze doing too much collaborations with people, man. Up until this point, y'all done seen me work with O'Shea Duke Jackson, even though it's been a long time, but that's my loved one. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. But if it ain't somebody like that, these people that get on the internet and act like they gangsters, or act like they the pimping, or act like they in the streets, or act like they's Big Meech, a big time kingpin and all that type of shit, man. All these man, it's a whole lot of busters and snitches and weirdos on the internet, man. So if I don't know your history, and I don't, your history is a mystery, and you do and say weird shit that make me raise an eyebrow to you, like, yeah, I'm cool, man. I don't want to be friends with none of these people. I don't want to collaborate with none of these people. I'm cool. So. All right. It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again. Shout out to O'Shea, man. That's my bro. But yeah, man. It's a lot of weirdos out here, man, disguised as wolves, but they really sheeps underneath, man. And people just got to pay attention to what people do, and not only what they do, but why they do what they do and how they do what they do. Again, like I said, man, I'm not questioning whether or not a civilian, or somebody who's not affiliated with law enforcement or the government, I'm not questioning people's ability to get a hold of certain things, get a hold of paperwork, get a hold of body cam footage. That's not the question. But the question is, why do you get a hold of that, first of all? Because, and it says a lot about somebody. They're not doing it for money. They don't get paid from the shit. Like, these people who always posting, people getting booked in the game, arrested, all this type of shit. Every time somebody get arrested, they be the first ones to know. How they know even before those of us in the game be knowing? Right? Like I said, with myself, I got arrested for speeding. For speeding. And within 48 hours, without me putting it on the internet, this dude not only put it on the internet, but had the body cam footage. It's me, and I didn't even have the body cam footage. I don't even care about that type of stuff. I don't think to myself, let me get the body cam footage for this, me getting arrested for speeding. That's crazy. Like, what regular person that's not their job? I can see if that's your job. I can see if you get paid for that. Like, if you got some type of content thing going on where, you the first one on the scene, or you the first one to, like, you got this thing where maybe, I don't know, I think he probably get notifications or something whenever somebody across the country, because he done did it with me in Arizona. He done did it with people on the East Coast, Midwest, down south, all over the country. Right? I could see if you get paid, like if this is something like where you feed yourself and your family. Even though it still would be weird to me, I could understand that. Right? I could have some understanding for that. Like, well, damn, even though I don't like this shit, even though this shit is strange to me, he is making a bag from the shit. He taking care of himself and his family. So, it is what it is. But it's not even that. He not making no money off of the shit. He might even be spending money. You know, I know some places in order to get people's paperwork and shit like that, I believe some places you got to pay for that shit. And I would imagine body cam footage too. He went and got Sinful's body cam footage when Sinful got arrested at his house in Scottsdale. He had that body cam footage. Like, why are you? And again, this is a situation where when Sinful got arrested back then, he didn't put that shit on the internet. Like, why do you take the time to do this and you're not even getting paid from it? And then you know about this shit as soon as it happens, without anybody making it known on the internet. You the first one with it on the internet. Man, I don't rock with nobody like that. Even if you ain't the police, you the police. You know what I mean? Like, I know people who done been through the system, you know, who done did time in prison, people who done been in the streets. And I know people like that who are paralegals, who are very well versed when it comes to law. They understand the law like the back of their hand. And even the people I know like that, they don't even do that type of shit with random people. People they don't know. They looking up their paperwork. They getting their body cam footage from when they got arrested. Who does this with people that they don't know and they're not getting paid from it? And see, when it's being done to somebody that you got jealousy and envy towards in the game, again, you allowing yourself to be charmed and disarmed by somebody outside the game. And you don't even care. You don't even think about how odd it is. You don't even think about, you just be so wrapped up in the fact that, damn, Freeze got arrested with a 304. You're not thinking to yourself like, well, damn, how did he get that shit? And then he's lying. He's twisting it up to make it seem like Freeze got booked for something way bigger than what he got booked for. I got arrested for criminal speeding because I was doing, or they was saying, which and by the way, I ended up beating the ticket, but they were alleging that I was going more than 90 miles per hour. Right? So that's why they arrested me. But I got out the same day. He made it seem like it was this big old case that I was sitting in jail for months fighting. And, you know, he was able to get away with that because, like I said, at the time, I just so happened to be taking a break from the internet and I wasn't on the internet. And even when people was telling me about this shit, I still wasn't getting on the internet because I didn't care. But it's just strange that, you know, people follow somebody like this. You know? And it's other things that this person has done that, you know, I don't have proof of, but I know. Stuff that he's done to me personally that I don't have proof of, but I know. Stuff that he's done to other people in the game that I don't have proof of, but I know to be actual and factual. You know, people won't learn until it happened to them. And then you have individuals like, you got certain individuals that are participants in the game that endorse these people outside the game that's always, you know, slandering and, you know, lying and twisting the truth and exaggerating shit. These outsiders of the game that hate the game. You got people in the game that endorse these people. Right? And I know who all you busters is. You know what I mean? Because that's one thing Sinful kind of like gave me. You know, Sinful, he knew all that shit. If they If them people posted like something slandering Sinful's name, Sinful, he remembered everybody who liked it, even if they didn't say nothing. Sinful remembered everybody who liked the shit. He remembered everybody who commented. He remembered everybody who followed that individual. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't as deaf on it like Sinful was, but I do take notice to certain shit though. You know what I mean? I know who a lot of you busters is that be over there on them busters pages, you know, when they get, not just with me, with other people in the game. And see, that's how much love I got for the game, and that's just how real I am. You know, even people who I don't like, I don't even support. See, that's the difference between me and you weirdos and you busters, right? To whom it applies, you know who you are. Difference between you and me is like, them suckers over there, they could post something, a lie, and be slandering somebody who I don't even like, who I don't care for. And I can't even run with that if it's a lie. You know what I mean? If it's a lie, I can't even get behind it. If it's some sucker shit, I can't get behind it, even if it's against somebody who I don't like. But boy, y'all got that jealousy in your heart, and you let that jealousy pimp on you like a wayward 304. You know what I mean? Ain't that some shit? You supposed to be some pimping and you getting pimped on by jealousy. You getting pimped on by envy. You getting pimped on by self-hatred. You getting pimped on by manipulation from people that ain't even the pimping. Yeah, but you think because you convinced some show bus shorties to give you a few dollars that you doing something. Yeah, man, those of us is really gamed up. We know better, and we see your lame ass. Yeah. But yeah, man, I just wanted to bless y'all with some game, man, and give you an eye opener, man. If you a wolf, like be a wolf to the core. Understand what it means to be a wolf. Don't just act like a wolf. You know what I mean? Don't just learn how to howl and learn how to look like a wolf just for the sake of being accepted by other wolves. No, be a wolf to the core if you're going to be a wolf. Don't be a wannabe wolf that's getting manipulated by sheep that's dressed up like wolves. You know what I mean? If you in the lifestyle, if you in the streets in any capacity, and you done dealt with manipulation on every level possible, man, don't allow yourself to be manipulated by people outside the game who hate the game. People who outside the game who never been a part of the game that are so deeply vested into the game. Right? Don't be manipulated by them people. Don't be manipulated by people who, for some strange reason, whenever somebody get booked in the game, they always the first ones to know. Immediately when it happens. Whether somebody get booked in California, Arizona, Texas, Louisiana, DC, New York, Florida, Chicago, they the first ones to know no matter where it is. I shouldn't even have to tell you this if you in the streets. I shouldn't even have to tell you this if you in the game. You supposed to already be that sharp. You supposed to already be up on that. And the fact that I do have to wake some of y'all up to this shit make me think you really ain't got no business in this shit. You need to go find something else to do. It ain't nothing wrong with that. This might be your wake-up call, man. Like Sinful the P said, man. Go get your CDLs. You know, a lot of people done listen to Sinful the P, went and got their CDLs, and they doing well now. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, man, a lot of y'all need to go get your CDLs, man. If you allowing yourself to be manipulated then, by people that's in their 50s and wearing costumes at their house. They don't even go nowhere and they putting costumes on in their house. You know what I mean? They got a whole costume on that they funky underneath. You know what I mean? Underneath the mask smell like they badass breath. And underneath the body of the costume smell like they funky ass feet and they funky ass, armpits and everything else. And they just at the house funky up under this costume that they ain't even going nowhere in. And you sitting up listening to somebody like that? Come on, man. You gotta wake up, man. And see, again, you allowing this kind of stuff to happen because you're a stranger to yourself, man. When you know yourself and you love yourself and you got integrity and you got a value system and you got principles and you stand on shit and you got rules for yourself like anybody that love themselves do. You got rules for yourself. Come on, man. You're not allowing no shit like that to happen. You're not allowing these weirdos that ain't got no game for real to manipulate your ass. Gotta wake up, man. Gots to wake up. Stop being a stranger to yourself. Because if you learn yourself, you probably will learn like, damn, you know what? Sinful was right, man. I do need to go get my CDLs. Or shit, you go to Amazon. Amazon, I don't even think you need you don't even need well, depending on what type of driving you do with Amazon. Some jobs you need your CDLs, but shit, some jobs with Amazon, you don't even need your CDLs. You dig? But yeah, man. I just wanted to bless y'all with some game for breakfast. Hopefully you enjoyed the meal. We're going to wrap this thing up, man. Y'all already know I got to hydrate my game before we get up out of here. I appreciate y'all getting the likes over that 2 Hondan. But if you have not wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now. Hit that like button. Put some love in my body before we get up out of here. Yes. Oh yeah, before we get up out of here. TJ Holloway, good looking with the $10 holla on Cash App. Blessings to you in the game. One time for Sinful. Man, I appreciate you. Good looking out. And I appreciate all of you for tuning in and tapping in with a pimp. I appreciate you for all your comments, questions, input, feedback, jokes, all that good stuff. I appreciate you for sharing this video. I appreciate you for subscribing and hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate all the super chats, the PayPals, the Cash Apps. I appreciate your support in every which way that you comes with it, man. Y'all already know who it is and what it is. Freeze is it. If you out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. And of course, as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. We out.